to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taman.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taman.
Hey everybody, and welcome once again to another razor-sharp edition of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. I'm your happy host, John Taman, and boy, I tell you what, the more I do this hosting thing, the more I sound like some stupid goddamn morning radio guy. Hey everybody, why don't you call us up right now and give us the answer to today's trivia question?
Well, the ninth caller.
That's right, the ninth caller enters into a $25 drawing. All right, so as of course you just heard, I'm joined by my friend Jesse, who's been voted by his peers as the most likely person to be mistaken for a Sasquatch. How are you doing? I see that you've trimmed your beard somewhat. We can actually see your chest. That's all right.
Yeah, a little bit. I trimmed it a little bit. This right here, though. Actually, I had it professionally done.
Yeah,
Professionally done.
It was getting a little. I usually do.
Well, it looks hella better because yeah.
It was
When he says professionally done, he means he called in an exterminator to kill the squirrel that was living in it before he trimmed it.
Yeah.
Because at least now we can at least guess that you have a neck. Before it was in question.
It was just like
Not
fucking
even
crazy.
Not even there. I've decided that I'm jealous of how fast you can grow a beard, and I'm going to just never shave mine for the next 6 years to see if I can even get close.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
join
once it gets closer to the springtime, it'll come off again, like all the way. Because I honestly don't like having a beard. I really don't. I just grow it out because I'm work outside a lot, and it's a lot warmer with the beard. Yeah. Your face is a lot warmer than without.
Makes a big difference. I'm also joined by my friend, fan ambassador Keith Gray, who said, I believe, once that your favorite sex position was doggy style because you can lick your own balls. So, welcome to the show. And
what?
Well, if you can reach, you can reach. But
what the
dogs liked it.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Of
Speaking
course,
of doggy style.
I mean, thanks for having me on my own show, John.
The star of the show, Keith Gray.
No,
no,
don't do that.
Well, it's already too late. You already are, and you're going to be the big time star of the show this weekend.
Yes,
because this is the big weekend. I mean, I don't mean the Super Bowl. That's even NFL Network called me up.
Secondary to what we got going on.
They did. NBC called up. Al Michaels said, "We'd rather really show you throwing food on Keith and show the pregame show." So yeah, that's coming up this weekend, and we're going to figure out ways to do it live. If anybody has a good suggestion for a good platform, that's fine, because we're trying to research it right now so we can invite the most people in. And I'm thinking, what time do we want to do this, fellas? Maybe 1 o'clock, 1:30?
Yeah, I'm thinking, in between 1 and 1:30 is fine.
So we'll say 1:23, and that'll work.
1:23.
In 42 seconds.
So I guess the idea behind this is we're going to look into actually switching our own podcast platform over to StreamYard. And hopefully we look into that, and that's where we can go live. It'll show up on Twitter, and anyone who wants to join live to see can do. It's going to be an adjustment for all of us because we haven't really used that platform and don't know too much about it, but
we'll figure it out.
And we'll do some dry runs, some test runs beforehand and make sure everything's.
We haven't really had any donations come in. We also haven't really pushed it. I didn't want to push it too much because when I realized and paid attention that I was cutting into Jeff squares, which congratulations to my guy Jeff. He really pulled an impossible task of getting 100 people to donate $100 per square. That's a lot of money that was raised for the charity. A lot of money that people can, also win as well. It was a fun opportunity, and man, there was just so many people. Like, for instance, when we were sitting at 20, and I know this is off from what we were talking about on the food, but I didn't want to forget talking about this. When we were sitting at 20, there were so many people that were like, hey guys, if you're struggling to the end, let me know, I'll buy what's left. And there were, Corey Johnson, who is also, a hog farmer, he was willing to do that, even though we weren't going to do that because of course we're not necessarily participating in this, but the fact that he was, willing to do that, there was actually other fans from Twitter that were willing to do that. And then right at the end, when, we saw, there was 2 left, I tweeted it out and one guy's like, cool, bought them both. You guys are done, and it really helped. Like it helped with everything. So congratulations to Jeff, man, because even us, the other hog farmer guys, we were like, that's a tough ask, buddy.
Yeah.
That's $100 a pop. That's, no way you're filling all of that. And man, he did it. And not only did he do it, he literally did it 2 weeks before or a week before the Super Bowl. So congrats to Jeff on that, man.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of
grand,
money.
right?
He worked hard on that. So, good for him.
I'm glad you spoke on that for at least 2 minutes because it gave me a chance to realize what 100 times 100 is. It took me a while. I'm glad I had a pencil over here that I was able to figure.
What's the math on that?
$10,000, I believe.
Yeah, your math is definitely mathin'. So yeah. I think when it was all said and done, we're like at the the hog farmer monies is like 5,000 or something like that. I don't know because I didn't do the total, but of what you could actually win from it. But that is a large, substantial amount of money that we can that we can use, especially now that we're giving grants to families where every month they can get up to 1,000.
Just to be clear, that doesn't mean you're sending annoying radio hosts over to their house, right?
Right. That's you're correct.
Right on time.
So
there.
anyways, back to what I was saying. So back to the food thing. I didn't want to cut into Jeff's. I felt bad because of course immediately people are like, here's money. I want to see food dumped on your face. And so now
what we've raised isn't nothing to
100%.
It was a good little chunk. And I think the next we got 4 days left.
Yeah.
We can push that.
And I'm gonna egg this donor of ours who's already donated. I'm gonna egg her on because she has threatened to buy one more of each off the list.
Oh, yes.
Sounds good because we never put eggs on.
Speaking of eggs, yes. Okay, yes. Speaking
How
of
did
eggs,
we miss that? I think we should get some balut. You know what balut is?
No.
That's that egg that they eat over in Southeast Asia. It's a half-formed chicken in there.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to create another list. But if you guys want to create another list and put eggs, ketchup, and mustard, and just little stupid stuff like that, whatever, you guys can do that if you want. And then if you do, I'll push it and see if we can raise a little bit more money. If you decide that you want to do a list, that's fine too. I personally don't see a need. I mean, I always see a need to push something, but I don't want to, kill it either with the same stuff because it kind of would get boring, I think, to people that the same stuff is getting dumped on me. So I'll leave that up to you.
Last minute list. We can do like
5 or 10 things. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
eggs, ketchup,
5
mustard.
or 10, like a small list, John, like 5, not 10.
10's a small list. I have that many fingers.
Not when it's getting dumped on your face.
I don't have that problem.
I know you don't. Fair enough.
All right. So when are you doing your shopping?
Probably would be Friday.
I definitely want Mrs. Gray to take video of you trying to choose cat foods, trying to avoid the sandwich stacker pickles because we know that you don't want to think about that. But yeah, man, I want to turn this into a big time event, give people what they're looking for, because really there's nothing going on this Sunday. We might as well, do it upright. So, all right, well, that's great. So yeah, everybody look on Twitter. Make sure you check us out to get the actual time ready for it. We'll have it for you by the end of the week. We'll have everything set up and ready to go, and we can watch Keith complain and bitch and cry and hopefully puke.
Doesn't Twitter also still do Periscope?
No,
I don't know.
They don't do Periscope anymore?
Nope.
I don't know.
I think they
I don't know.
No, they do Twitter Spaces now.
Oh, so they got rid of Periscope to go live like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can go live. You can go live, but we can't split screen it up. Like
no, that I know, but I even thought about putting it out there, like just to have different perspectives. Anyways, carry on.
Okay. Well, even if worse comes to worse, we can record it like we do the normal show, and I can get it out that day, or people can watch it at halftime instead of watching. Well, everybody's gonna like this halftime show, I think.
Yeah, because I don't necessarily think live is that much of a big deal for this.
I think it'd be cool though.
It would be.
It would be cool. It would be
Yeah,
cool, but
it'd be cool.
Monday, if it has to be Monday, that's fine. So we're not going to sweat those little details, but we definitely want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to see and and have a good laugh at your expense, because you are definitely being a good sport about all this, and it's for the kids, and that's really good. I did like it last week when Jesse suggested we stick a hot dog in your ass for the kids. That was the funniest goddamn thing I've heard all.
And then you're like, call him Frank. And I didn't even it just went
right over your head.
No, I see it did go over your head, because when Jesse said I dated this girl once, and I said, what was her name? Frank. That was what the joke was. Her name was Frank. All right, so there you go. We're gonna be dump food on Keith for charity, thanks to the Scott G Miracle Whip Challenge that's going to be going on. And I don't want to beat that into the ground. I do want to rub it into your head, though. So we'll see that on Sunday. So there was a big event last weekend, and I wish I'd have gone, because it looked like a blast. All the pictures that I saw, it looked like a really good party. I know everybody spent the whole week complaining and bitching and freaking picking apart everything that they could, but that party looked like a big success. So hats off to Joey B, and hats off to Jason for being able to put that together. And I really wish I
don't
gone,
even hats off to Jason on that. And Jason, I
have a hat.
Hold on,
I know, but Jason wasn't even there. Don't give him the credit.
He wasn't even there.
He wasn't even there. That is all JCB all day long. Joey and his team, man. Actually, Maggie, the one who created the fan ambassador, I believe her name is Maggie, and her last name, well, I'm not believe it. Her name is Maggie Wesley, I think is her last name. Maggie was the one that put that entire thing together. Joey just kind of oversaw, and I'm sure he was like the big decision maker. Like, no, but Maggie was the one that did it all. And but carry on. I'll.
So how many people do you think were there?
Man, I'm not good with projecting that, but let me tell you this. What I can say is at first, of course I get there. We're waiting for FedEx to actually let us in. So we're waiting in our cars. When we finally pulled up, we got inside. We literally probably for the first half hour, 45 minutes could have hit all the booths that they had. But there was things that they were doing that, like, the trophies, which the trophies were nicely presented with actual lights.
I saw the lines just to look at the trophies. It was really long.
Well, in the beginning it wasn't. And so I didn't think that this event was going to be that.
People have to get home from work first.
Yeah, well, one, you got to get home from work, but two, it was cold and rainy and cold that evening. So anyway,
that's what kept me away. It was raining like crazy.
Right. So the rain died out by the time we got out of the cars at 6:00. So the rain wasn't an issue. The cold weather was definitely an issue with me. I definitely came underprepared, but it's tough because I knew it was going to get cold, but it was warm that whole day. And so, you just can't predict what the weather's going to feel like, but there was wind going through there and it just made it worse. But to go back to the actual event itself,
well, if you listen to the weather, the cold front.
There are people that.
I did listen to the weather, and I did know that 38, it was going to be 38, but there's different types of 38s, you asshole.
Nobody knows what's going to happen.
You don't know. Shut up. 38 is cold, but 38 with wind is colder. I didn't know it was going to be windy. Assholes.
I think that there was ways to find these things out.
No. I go onto the app. It tells me the temperature. It tells me if it's raining or not. I look at the map, the radar. The rain goes. I don't pay attention to the wind. I don't know if 7 miles.
Let me tell you something. If you look right below the temperature, where
both of you shut the fuck up. How about that?
I can see him telling the cop,
and it has a number right there.
What's WND?
Wind. That's the abbreviation.
They can't put the I in there. How am I supposed to know with WND? But one more letter does it. Like, I didn't know that was wind. It was cold.
In a traffic accident. I ain't got time to be looking at the light. I don't know what color it is. How the hell am I supposed to know what that means? I'm putting Celine Dion on my stereo. I can't be listening to putting it in the light. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's true. But listen, there was a lot of people there that really showed up. The lines to look at the trophies, the helmets. Man, I got right in there, got the helmets, and I put the helmets on Twitter, and that blew up. It was crazy. Then there was,
They
the
look
lines.
nice. I like that Matt helmet. Looks real nice.
They did look a lot nicer in person, but it's still, all the arguments people have can still be valid because at the end of the day they're different. But yes,
what we have to do is
they looked dope.
In about a few months, we can ask Daniel Jones what he thinks it looks like as it's being smashed into his face.
There you go.
But yeah, and then the merch line, because the team store wasn't open, but they did have one of those,
Pop-up tents or something.
Yep, pop-up tents. The merchandise, I mean, it pretty much got to the point where sizes became an issue, where they didn't have people's sizes. But it was the basic stuff that you would see online, nothing
How
different.
was the swag bag?
The swag bag itself.
I see the hat you got.
Well, yeah, that's one of them. The swag bag itself was really nice. I mean, with the stuff that they gave, I mean, they
didn't have to give anything.
No, they didn't have to.
They gave you a party. I thought that was a good thing.
The thing, they had two different types of scarves, which kills me. You can tell in the swag bags, like the people that were putting them together weren't really paying attention too much, because the one bag I got has 2 black scarves in it, and I'm only supposed to have one. The black scarf.
I want a scarf.
The black scarf was nice, but I was disappointed because I didn't get the burgundy ones that some people got. And I think it mattered which line when you were coming through. What if you were grabbing, getting a bag from the left side, you got the black scarf. On the right side, I think, was the burgundy. And of course, I didn't catch that, or I would have snatched myself a burgundy. So anyways, the burgundy scarves are real. Huh?
You couldn't make some trades?
No, nobody was giving up their burgundy scarf.
Oh, okay.
No one was giving them up. And I did end up getting 2 bags. Sorry, Joey, but they gave it to me. And what was I supposed to do? Say no? So I'm dividing some things and giving the stuff away. But anyways, then my buddy Jeff, he's like, hey man, just so you know, I have VIP passes for the VIP tent. And he told me that prior. And I was like, okay, now this is worth going, because
I heard you get a hand job from Dexter Manley if you go.
You did not get a hand job, but you did get this, which I have not taken it out of the bag yet. It's what all the workers were wearing when they were there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I mean, look, it's cool, but I haven't embraced it fully. But the reason why I wanted you to mention this event was, it was very interesting for me, because the vibe was very cool.
Yeah.
The people that were there, they were excited. There were so many people there. I didn't even see half the people that said that they were going.
It looked like everybody was having fun.
Everybody was having fun. Everybody was doing their own thing. I didn't see Kyle. I didn't see, Kyle from the Burgundy Zone. I didn't see a lot of the people. So there was a lot of people, right? And
a couple thousand. Good.
Yeah. But what was most interesting was when I did, and I only spent about 20 minutes in the VIP tent. I ate food, got a drink, and then we walked out. And that's where the alumni were hanging out.
You think about baseball, and you can last a little longer when you're getting your little.
Shut up. But that's where the alumni were hanging out. Well, at that time, there was only a few guys there, because remember, we were there in the beginning. So there was only a few guys there in the tent. Didn't bother them. I've seen all those people. They're at every event. I love them, but I don't need to go say hello every time that they're there, right? So they're doing their own thing. And
they're probably looking at you going, should I go talk to Keith?
Shut up.
Jason, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Listen, their food was good, but there happened to be an older gentleman who came in. You could tell he was old school, as old school could get when it comes to Redskins, just by the stuff that he was wearing. And so I pulled him aside, and I was like, sir, you got a few minutes to talk with me? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, one thing that I've done is bitch and complain about this team name being changed, but I never really talked to the individuals who really have been through it with this team. What's your insight? Give me an insight of how you and your generation are feeling about this whole process. And I don't want to get into what he told me, but he's obviously lived a what's the word? He's
Long.
lived a long life
Mhm.
and has seen many different shit that has gone on in today's world or in the world, right?
Mhm.
So to get his feedback of things and to really understand his mindset, it was very insightful, and it was actually very impactful to me, to where if this gentleman who's been through so much shit in life, you know, and can still root for this team as the team name is Commanders, why can't I? You know, so after I had that conversation with him, I kind of changed my attitude, because I'm not going to lie. When I was there, I was very blah. Like, it was a lot to take in of what was going on. And you see people being excited. I'm like, man, I can't get excited like those people, because it's finally happening. We finally got a final name, and here we are with it and whatever. But after getting his perspective, I've learned that it's not the end of the world. That the
Oh
team
no!
changed.
You're gonna watch the football game on Sunday,
Right,
and it's
and-
still gonna feel the same.
And
You're
that's
gonna enjoy
the
what you're watching.
consensus that gentleman gave me. And if anyone should be pissed off about a team name being changed, it should be that man. You know what I mean? That man and the generation that he represents. And if he can learn to understand that this is just where we're at in today's world, then I need to do the same thing. And so it was just very cool, because I've never had an opportunity to really look at different age groups and talk with them and really understand their thought process with this whole thing. So it was pretty impactful to me. I appreciated it.
Well, I know for a fact, being much older than you always look at me like I should just shut up. So I've always felt like,
No, I
fuck
actually,
you whippersnapper.
I know that you're a different generation as well, but you're kind of like on that, you're like right at that cut mark, if that makes sense. Like, you're not that much older than me. You know what I mean?
15
He's
years.
just really immature.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And proud of it, baby.
Yeah, you act 12, but
I'm happy.
no. But to talk to someone that's like, you know, in their late 70s, about to hit their early 80s, you know, to me that was a big deal, because, you know, they've seen it and done it, you know, and so it was just really an impactful conversation. And honestly, it was probably the best part of that event for me, to be honest.
That's good. That's very cool.
So-
That's very cool. I would suggest that if the guy was listening to the show, to maybe give us a call, but he's an old guy, and podcasting is probably something. What the hell is that? Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Yeah.
Can I get it here in my Buick? I don't
He
even know.
definitely was a guy who lives a simple life. Cell phones.
Okay.
What?
Cell phone. Jeez.
Call my house phone if you need to talk to me. Yeah.
He's probably got a party line still.
Oh, he was a funny dude, man. And
Got
it
one of
was
those
just,
two-hand phones. Hey,
Yeah.
hello.
he was just a funny dude, man. And like I said, just his actions and the things that he spoke, he was speaking real life true stuff. And like I said, it was probably the best part of the event for me, because I got to see a different insight that I haven't seen.
You know, from the
I'm
outside,
curious.
looking in, it seemed like it was a great success.
Yes, it does. It looked like it was.
And I think from the initial shock of, you know, last week, shock may be a poor term.
It's just
but-
the finality of it. It's done.
Yeah,
That's the.
I think we're starting to see more people, you know, get over the hump a little bit and come to terms with everything, from the name to the new uniforms to, you know, people arguing about the colors, and I think it's going to be okay. You know, I hear people like Kevin Sheehan say, "Oh, I have a whole bunch of listeners that are done with the team." I don't believe that whatsoever.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I think it's just the initial.
The more that we give that attention, the more people are going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
Well,
The
because,
minute the minute we ignore that and just say, okay, see you later, and
Yeah.
move
Bye.
move on.
But-
Those are people that are screaming for the attention. Like, oh no,
Right.
please stay.
Oh
Shut the
yeah,
fuck up.
being in the naysayer makes you the cool guy in the room. I know more than you because I can say no.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
But
Whatever.
even,
I have
even
definitely noticed.
even myself, like, you know, I always hated the name Commanders. I don't care. It doesn't bother me anymore, man. It really does. It is what it is. And guess what? This is still my fucking team, and I'm going to.
Right. They're
I'm
still gonna
sitting
play
here
football.
today wearing a Commander's hat,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie, but
So what? Good.
You know,
Good for you.
the merge. I mean,
if I got a Commander's beanie for free too, I'd wear it too, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too. Towards the end of the evening before the fireworks show started going off, you know, I hung out with JCB, and super cool. He's like, "Yeah, Keith, don't go in your car," because if you went in your car, you turned it to a radio station and they were celebrating and talking. There was music and then fireworks and all that. He's like, "Oh no, you know, come, you know, hang out with us, watch the fireworks." So I was like, "Okay, cool." He said, he goes, "Keith, that tweet that you sent out about you were going to mix your gear, Redskins and Commanders." He said, "Just so you know," he's like, "this entire organization fully supports that 100%. Now, I know people that will hear me say that will be like, "Oh yeah, right, sure, they can't get this right, they can't do that right, blah blah blah." He said that there were people that he showed that to that loved the idea of mixing the gear. He said that they have no problem whatsoever if they did. They think it's fantastic.
Look, these people that are still sitting there saying that they're going to ban you from wearing it at the stadium. Jesus Christ, what kind of dope are you? What I would suggest to these people is to go get tested for lead poisoning, because obviously something has happened in your brain.
He also said
it's the same fucking team. This isn't.
They let people in wearing Cowboys gear, for God's sakes. You think they're going to freaking ban Redskins gear?
It's the same team. It's the same franchise.
What I'm curious is when 100%. Keith says he's in the VIP tent and he says that the food was good. Does that mean what? Is it chicken nuggets coated with like Captain Crunch or something?
Probably with a little bit of mac and cheese on the side.
No, it was a couple. There was some egg rolls. One was a steak and cheese. I don't know what the other one. Steak and cheese, actually, I didn't care for, but the other egg roll was good. Some sliders. But no, to get back to Joey, he also said this too. Moving forward, they're not going to be afraid to say Redskins. They're going to when they talk about the history and talk about the things, the Super Bowls, it's going to be under the Redskins name. They are going to say Redskins. And again, I believe everything Joey says. Joey hasn't lied to me, and there's no reason to. And I think that's what we kind of need through this, is we need this team to not act like that it never existed, and to acknowledge it. I think if they were started acknowledging, which they did with making the brand, if you didn't notice, it did say former Washington Redskins coach, Joe Gibbs. It was nice to read that. I think if they can move forward and still say the name Redskins and still honor what the Redskins history did, I think a lot of people could heal a lot faster.
I noticed in the video they put out last week, they didn't blur out the helmet like it was some kind of offensive thing. And it takes time, but they're doing a complete rebrand. And all of you people that still think that this has anything to do with people's feelings, get fucking real. This is over money that Dan has lost. Lots of it. So, I almost wonder how long has it been since you've actually been in this country, if you still think that people's feelings matter in any of these regards. But it absolutely does not.
He came out and told me that. When I talk to these guys, I don't try to throw my agenda at them and say, "Hey, what are we doing about this? What are we doing about that? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that?" I don't do that. So he invited that conversation to me, which I appreciated. And I feel like him and I never have talked to. He knows how I feel about it, but I think that like he does that with me because I feel like he respects my thought process on it. And it's why I've kind of have grown. It's going to sound weird, but I've grown closer to the guy because I just feel like,
we're friends.
When we're not exchanging Christmas gifts here,
I don't exchange a Christmas gift with you either, but you're my friend, right?
That's true. But we can change this year. We got a whole year.
We could. I wear an extra large.
I just believe the things that Joey tells me, and that's the thing. And Joey doesn't invite things unless he wants to. Like when I asked Joey when I walked in, I'm like, "Dude, where are those hats that you got?" And he goes, "Oh, they're at the VIP tent." And I'm like, and I didn't tell him that I had one or anything, but he also didn't offer either. So it's not like the teams are like, here, Keith, you're a fan ambassador, have all the perks. Like, he didn't tell me anything about that. But
Quick visit by Grant Paulson there.
yeah, well, whatever. I'm waiting for someone to say, well, why are you doing a gay voice? It's not a gay voice. It's
not
just
a gay
my
voice. This is a gay voice. You want to hear a gay voice? Watch the Olympics when they're doing the skating. And you got Johnny Weir on there.
Listen, I don't give
I get on him.
My boy JCB, my boy JCB is an awesome dude. They did a fucking kick-ass job with this park and party. And I know that they're going to continue to put on events. And if anyone thinks that this gentleman and his team don't give a shit about the fans, honestly, they can all kiss my ass, because I've had personal conversations with this dude. I know how hard this dude works. I know how hard his team works. They care. Yes, they're getting paid. It's their job. But at the end of the day, a lot of things that they do is because of
and
fans.
So does Jason Wright. I mean, Jesus Christ, the shit that we've seen through the past couple of weeks. You think he doesn't?
Divorce talk here?
Jason cares, but Jason, I'm going to tell you what. And
He's
if I stood,
listen,
not to cut you off, Jesse, I'm sorry, man. Jason does care, and I really want to have Jason on his back. But I'm going to tell you this: stuff better start changing, because there's little mistakes that are being made that people are catching and pointing out, and they're 100% correct. Jason needs to get with the program and be in tune with what's truly going on. I'm not saying listen to fans and do what they say, but come on, man, you were off on that crest. You were off on that crest in those dates.
Those three names. Yeah, the three dates. That's the worst of this whole thing. Is those three dates.
Yeah, I don't even care about that shit.
No, I knew. And listen, I don't care enough to make it an uproar on Twitter. You don't hear. I'm not uproaring it. To me, it's a mistake. But what it's telling me is just like the Sean Taylor jersey retirement. You got to get yourself more in tune with what's truly going on,
right?
And you can succeed and utilize the people. If not, you're just another walking toad like anyone else. And I really want Jason to succeed for the time that he's here, until he decides to leave.
Being the old guy of the group here, look, in 1992, the Cowboys won the fucking Super Bowl. I don't want that on my crest. Okay. And the other thing is, in 1983, holy shit, the 1983 Super Bowl, we got our asses handed to us. It was, I got over a marriage faster than I've gotten over that Super Bowl, because I've never gotten over that Super Bowl. That was an abject humiliation what the Raiders did in that game, because we were the number one offense going in, set records, going in 14-2. We had just beat the shit out of the Rams in the playoffs, 51-7. There was nothing stopping us until we stepped in that fucking field and the Raiders backslapped our ass. So I don't like to see 1983. It hurts me in my heart. And I did. I tweeted to Jason. I said, look, any older Redskin fan, you say 1983 Super Bowl, we all go, oh God.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's the one thing to me about, the colors. I've been talking with people about the colors all week on the jerseys, but that's just details. The years of the Super Bowl matter. That matters, because those are our glory. That's our glory.
And if you're going to put it in a crest and you call that our family history, our family crest, you better get that right.
Dude, walk outside of your office door and look at the banners that are hanging up in there, and you can read the numbers and see what they were.
Yeah,
I kind of like
probably
should
have done the
Roman numerals on.
Numerals.
Just put the Roman numerals. Call it a day.
17, 22, 26, 50. 57, 58, 59, 61, 62. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, and you can leave, what was it, 30, 32, and 37? That you can leave that there.
32, we were in Boston. Fuck them.
I know. But again, you want to report the history as being accurate, and it's the whole idea behind the crest. And like I said, it wasn't enough for me to go crazy until, Jason Wright, like everyone else, that he's inept and not tone deaf with the fans. But dude, you can't make these mistakes.
That has nothing to do with the fans.
I think
the dates have nothing to do with the fans. What he did was look the date that we won the Super Bowl.
He didn't do it. Some staffer did it.
That Super Bowl was on. That Super Bowl was in 1983. That Super Bowl was
not
how it ever explained.
I know that he talked about it and he used a word. I forget what the word was. It's so funny because
dipshittery.
No, I mean, it might as well have been. But he used a word to where if that's kind of the route that the fans want to go instead of their, the route that they took. Well, my thing is what was your reason? I know that was the year that they won, but what was your reasoning? What was your thought process?
I'll tell you
why you chose that route.
It's because the people that are in charge of doing that, yeah, exactly. They don't know. They don't know. And when I've said this before about
somebody there's got to though.
Somebody does. And the quality control stuff has really got to get under control. The Sean Taylor thing, the fucking stupid ass first down music, the fucking ballad before we kick off. There's things that are out there that I said this on the podcast before. It makes me wonder if the people that are in there putting the shit together actually have ever watched a football game.
Well, when I was in the VIP tent, it was kind of cool because, like I said, Jeff and I went to our own table. We were minding our own business. Like, we weren't getting in the whole, hoopla. But then Joey had came over and he had a couple staffers with him. And we met a very nice young lady who came from the UK. And very super cool, and there was a couple of other, but they worked for the marketing department. And the one thing that caught me was every single one of them had only been employed 3 to 6 months.
I told you, as a graphic designer who's worked for sports teams in the area, the reputation of working for them, it's impossible because of how Snyder runs the office. And, this is not necessarily having to do with any of the sexual misconduct. This just has to do with the pressure that's put on them, the lack of pay that's put on it, so they can't keep good people. And that's why I say, when I see all these little tiny mistakes, it's like, come on, where's your quality control? Your people don't know. And you need somebody in there that knows. And the Super Bowl years, the Super Bowl years isn't even something that you need to know. All you need to do is be a fan of football to know that, you just don't.
It's not a hard thing. And no. I just don't understand that when they approved that design, how
Dan Snyder didn't go, hey, wait a minute. That's not
right.
He should know.
Right. That's what I don't get. And so that's the frustrating part, because then they don't come out and they don't really give a good explanation for their decision making. Even if you came out and you're like, man, we fucked up. Sorry. That was a minor detail that we didn't put much thought into.
Let's face it.
You're going to get more respect from people doing that than
no, you wouldn't.
I
don't think
you
would.
Not on Twitter,
people like
to
pick on anything, but
around the world
media
of fans, that might say, all right, well, they took
once
accountability.
It's fixed, they'll be all right for it. And the fact of the matter is, the crest itself, at the time that the mistake was made and they put it out and we all saw it, how much merchandise had actually been produced?
Right.
You can't just take a tiny loss with those, or you can't just fix it.
I don't think you can fix it, and you can only do it once every 5 years per NFL rules. I think it's already
I kind of wonder why Roger Goodell didn't look at him and say, "What the hell is that?"
100%, it's going to get fixed, because they're not going to put it on clothing and then run the risk of people not buying it because of that. So Roger Goodell will definitely make an exception, and it'll get fixed. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
It should, because right now,
just put the fucking Roman numerals on there.
Just put the Roman numerals and be done with it. I mean, even the years
that solves the problem.
But the Roman numerals just look cool, so put it on.
They do, and
that
solves the problem.
We got a quarterback problem. Are y'all done talking about?
I guess we are.
Bullshit.
Speaking of taking shit, I've got a turtle head. Let's talk about it.
Turtle head poking through big enough to choke a donkey.
I think that will be next week's introduction to Keith. Keith with the turtle head.
Yeah. All right. So Jason, get it together, man. That's all I'm going to tell you. Just get it together.
Attention to detail, buddy.
We love you, bro, and we're trying really hard, but you can't make these stupid ass mistakes. Get your shit together. Moving on. New quarterback.
That's the thing. If you want to make an homage to the history of the team, then goddamn, get the Super Bowl years, right? And besides, let me just say this too. I think it was 1940 that we got our ass whooped by the Bears 73-0. Everybody,
I remember that game.
Okay. I remember it was horrible.
Reading about it, but yeah.
I was looking at the spot in my house where there was going to be a TV when they invented it, but actually no, it was invented by then. But okay, so 73-0. But the next year we came back and beat them in the NFL championship 14-6. So why isn't that year on there?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So okay, quarterback. The Russell Wilson. Right? Russell Wilson is the big name right now that everybody's talking about trying to get over here, which I think is great. And Kevin Sheehan said today that yesterday that he's not averse now to coming to Washington,
which is why everyone's talking about it.
The biggest hurdle, though, is if the Seahawks say, well, okay, we're willing to trade them, and I can't see why on earth they would be willing to trade.
The pieces are lining up for them to keep Russell Wilson. I mean, why would Pete Carroll want to
get rid of the best player of his team?
Pete Carroll's like 95 and a half years old. Okay. And why would he want
better than I do
to fucking just completely rebuild a team? So I'm not, maybe the percentages are going up from 0.0026 to 0.014, that there's a chance of him coming, but I don't have just big hopes
for the audience out there. 0.0014 is almost 0.0013.
Yeah, it's a little higher.
Almost.
Or lower. I don't know.
Lower, higher, lower. We're in the negative.
0.00026 is.
See,
I think you're undervaluing that situation big time.
Which situation? Of how the chances that Russell Wilson gets traded?
So here, yeah.
I mean, I don't know why Seattle would want to, unless you make them. There's two ways it'll happen. You throw everything at them that you possibly can, or you do the Vito Corleone and you put a gun to his head and say, you sign this or your brains are on the paper, one or the other.
Yeah. Look, the facts of the matter is people can say anything that they want back doors. This goes to Kevin Sheehan, who's he's talking with too. The fact of the matter is it's usually the Saints 2 to tango, but it's going to take 3 to tango in this situation. For one,
did you hear
Seattle's got to want a fucking trade. 2, Washington's going to want to have to give a boatload, and they should do pretty much whatever it takes to get him. And 3, Russell still has to want to come here.
I
Russell
think that
definitely
is not a problem.
I don't think that's a question at all.
I wouldn't say he wants to. I wouldn't say he wants to. It's probably not his first choice, but he's not.
Last season, he had no interest. This season, he's showing interest. There's no question about it.
To be the face of a rebrand, that's a big thing.
Russell Wilson is very calculated on everything that he does, especially when it comes to social media, pictures. My man is over here taking pictures with John Allen, knowing what kind of storm that's going to cause.
Sure.
There's no question about it.
Anybody that got rid of that horse-toothed woman that he had on his arm when he got drafted and traded her in for Ciara, he absolutely knows what's going on, right?
Right. So my thing is he doesn't want to be in Seattle. He's not going to come out and, officially say that, because there's always those chances that he still has to play for him. He doesn't want to be in Seattle. He's done. And honestly, if that boatload that we're talking about, which talk behind the scenes, it's not saying that it's true or anything like that. We're talking a 1st and 3rd this year, 1st and a 3rd next year.
Okay. For that guy, yeah.
For that guy,
yeah, you definitely do that.
He's on the way to the Hall of Fame.
That is a boatload for Seattle. And then Seattle can take the time to get the guy that they need with those picks.
But why bring back Pete Carroll?
Mitchell
Trubisky why bring back Pete Carroll in that situation, though? That's the one thing that still is like, man, I just don't know.
Seattle needs youth, man. They need youth, and they're not getting it with
Pete Carroll. He ain't young. I'm just saying, like, it's 3 things got to go right. Seattle's got to want to trade him. Seattle's got to want to trade him into the NFC. I'm sure they would much rather trade him to the AFC than the NFC.
Sure.
Okay.
I think that's overrated.
I don't know.
I think it's thought more if it's division, but I don't think if it's conference.
I think, conference is one, because you can look at the schedule and see we don't play Seattle again for another 2 years. We played them. Well, we played them this year.
And you got to remember,
usually a 3 to 4 year time span before you play the next team. Yeah,
right. Unless it's some kind of scheduling thing for
because you schedule against divisions, and then you have those one-off.
Yeah, you rotate divisions every year. You get rotated. Russell Wilson played very, very good before he got injured, and then after he healed up. Remember when he came back from injury?
The last couple of games.
Yeah. Remember when he came back and we played him, and he had that stretch of games that he didn't play very well. But once his thumbs healed up, he was great. He played very, very well. So
when we played against him, he was missing receivers by yards.
They throwing real high. So if I'm Seattle, there's no fucking way Russell Wilson's walking out that door, especially if I
Not
still have
unless I
Pete
bring a
Carroll
whole
coming back
Brinks truck
and
for
I have
him.
Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf still under contract. Give it one. If I'm Seattle, I'm giving it, at least one more year for Pete Carroll's sake. But I'm not Seattle. If, Washington throws the fucking next two complete drafts at him, who knows?
The great thing is I don't think Pete Carroll makes that decision though.
I think he
I don't
does.
think so.
I
So
think
when you say
he's got
why
a
bring
piece
him
of it,
back,
he's definitely got a piece of it.
he's got a small piece of it. I think he's on his way out the door eventually too, and they know that.
Well, that's the
Why
whole
haven't
thing
you
with
made the
Pete.
move already?
Yeah,
That's you don't
Pete
wait
Carroll's
to
been
fire a
making all the
coach.
decisions for the past.
Because I don't think there's a
10
true reason to
years.
fire him. I mean, he's not a horrible
No, I get it.
coach.
I get it. But if you're going to let him go, you let him go in December
And
or
what?
January,
And still pay
or
him
the end of
though?
January.
Like you let him go and still pay him? Like they don't want to do that.
They are some cheap bastards.
Teams do that all the time.
We do it way too much. Look at us. We're still paying Steve Spurrier.
Well, I'm just
I don't
just
care.
about that?
None
just
of that
the-
money comes off the cap.
Yeah,
so
money.
who
Money's
cares?
Right.
no issues when it comes. Yeah, especially when it comes to coaches. Coaches don't get paid nearly as much as players.
But those
do.
owners don't want to have to give out that money if they don't
Right.
have to.
Right.
That's
The
how
only way-
the rich don't stay rich by giving out money.
But
No, we've seen that, and the only reason that Dan Snyder isn't going to, because you might have a hot wife, and I might be able to get her up into a hotel room.
Ugh,
God
she
knows
is
what's going to
hot,
happen.
man. Tanya Snyder is hot for her age, dude.
Well, she's got to go ahead and take Dan Snyder's filthy ass and throw him out on the street, or I'm going to start using the word whore.
Yeah, we can talk about that too if you want. I watched that whole round table.
That was
Very-
bad stuff, man. Yeah, I've had it with Dan Snyder, but I don't want to. I mean, unless we're going to bring him in here and talk to him directly, maybe next week.
yeah,
can
maybe
do that.
next week. Maybe next
Bring
week.
Dan
Yeah,
Snyder
that
in,
round
'cause he
table,
will
man.
talk to us.
That round
was
table, we don't
damning.
have to get into it as a topic, but that round table is pretty brutal. I listen to all those women, man. I'm
We'll
telling you,
get to it. And yeah, we'll definitely we'll have a
We'll
segment. on it
bring
next
him on.
week.
those women
Yeah.
weren't lying, bro. Not
I don't
lying.
think
Not
so.
say,
No.
I don't think they were either, but I don't think that round table is going to do anything to.
It's not.
Get him
It's
out.
not. It's not. But what it does do
It keeps
is,
it in the forefront, is what
Sure
it does.
It sure
keeps
does,
it
and
in
they're
the
gonna
public
keep it there.
discourse.
and I think
Sure.
that they should.
Yep,
Because
they
at the end
should.
of the day, they don't want nothing to do. They don't care about this current office. They care about Dan Snyder.
Right,
What I
and
found
if-
interesting, and again, we don't have to get into it. What I found interesting though is they did not. They listed for the people that were being accused of the harassment. They were listing them as their job titles and not
Mhm.
saying the name. Dan Snyder was the only name that they would actually say. They wanted to emphasize Dan Snyder, man. And I'm telling you, you
Yep.
watch those women's face as they're talking about these stories that happened to them. Man.
Oh, the one woman that was new that basically said that he tried to shove her into a limo while his lawyer was saying, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. I mean, that's practically assaulting her, and I'd really we'll get into it when we get him in here, let him say his
Yeah.
side of it.
we can do
But,
that.
I think that some of these people that are in our little group of fans that like to talk back and forth that defend him or minimize this stuff, it's because A, you probably don't know any different. He's the only owner you've ever really known. And B, I'd rather take the word of 40 to 50 plaintiffs over the piece of shit that lies continually and made all of his money by robbing people with phone slamming. He's a hunk of junk from the outset. So I'm going to listen to them and take them. Now, we'd said earlier what Kevin Sheehan had said. Did you hear what Tom Lavero said?
No.
I don't listen to that. I don't want to listen to him.
He said, and I got the quote right here.
He's a hater.
I'll
never
take
said.
6 Big Macs and 5 large fries and a Diet Coke.
Gotta have that Diet Coke, don't you, Tom?
Gotta watch my waistline. Let me tell you about how awful Dan Snyder is, and RG3 sucked.
Like him. I did see a video of Tom Lavero singing fucking karaoke. My God, you really want to see something? Not only is he singing karaoke, but there's a dog in the background that literally commits suicide. It figures out how to pull a trigger on a gun and kills itself. It's like, I can't even take these high notes.
Good stuff.
All right. So if Russell Wilson is off the table, what's the next move?
I mean, people are still, even Kevin Sheehan was saying, you have to go Russell Wilson, Watson or Rodgers, and that's just Watson and Rodgers are they're no-goes. It's just not going to happen. So it's just
for Watson,
not going to fucking happen. So
aside from Watson's,
you have to look through the draft. You have to look through the draft, and
yeah.
and no matter what, you have to swing big for Russell, and that's the only veteran quarterback that I see working, fitting here, and that makes sense.
I'd rather swing big for him than to Aaron Rodgers because I think there's more longevity with Russell Wilson.
100%.
And I think that
he's unvaxxed. He's not coming here.
Well, whatever that in that regard. Who you talking about, Rodgers?
Yeah.
I just think Rodgers is staying in Green Bay. I don't think vaccination status really, at this point in time.
This team's got to stay away from all negative for us as much as possible. And
and that's
Aaron Rodgers
that
is going to bring that off the field negative shit.
So
I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
Watson.
Which is why I don't see Watson happening.
Watson's not coming here. That's
the other thing about Watson is
not
the price that they're asking is way high. And even though I just said, and you just said that we would pay that much for Russell Wilson, look, the thing about Watson is this: when you took away all his weapons, when they jettisoned all his weapons, that man went 4-12. All right. If you are an elite quarterback, you don't ever go 4-12.
No.
Right. I don't see Wilson going 4-12, not with the lineup that we've got. And I wouldn't see Watson going it with the lineup we've got either. However, I saw him do it there. So when you want to talk to me about elite, the elite raise everybody around them. And when they the Texans are idiots. I don't know why they do half the shit that they do. But when they got rid of all his receivers, he couldn't do shit.
No.
He didn't do anything. So I'd rather not. I'd rather not pay that kind of money for a guy that has shown vulnerability in just on the field. And I'm not talking about any of his off the field stuff. Wilson, I don't think that exists. I think that man's on his way to the Hall of Fame. I don't think you could say that about Watson at this juncture, maybe in another 5 years if they let him play again. But Wilson, I think, is. And did you hear Ryan Clark yesterday with his comment about, I don't think he's one of the all-time greats, and people went crazy over that.
Listen,
go ahead.
I was talking with some people on Twitter about that. I think what Ryan was trying to say is that he doesn't put Wilson in the same category as like the top 10
the all-time greats for his work,
quarterbacks. He is a great quarterback, but he's not
a great quarterback,
upper echelon to ever play the game.
Right. And that's the thing. And, when everybody went berserk over that, I'm like, you guys realize all-time greats is a very small club.
Yeah.
Very small club. I would say over the last 10 years, Brady, Manning, and not Eli, Peyton Manning. A guy was arguing with me today. I shouldn't say arguing. He was discussing with me today. He says he puts Aaron Rodgers up there. And I mean, Rodgers is a great regular season quarterback, but he gets bounced out of the playoffs way too much. I don't care what the excuse is. He gets bounced out way too much for it to be in the all-time conversation. The all-time greats, there are so few of them. There's maybe 12, 15 of them in the history of the league. Hall of Famers, I think Russell Wilson's going to be one.
Well, there's tons of there's plenty of Hall of Famers,
but there's another level.
I think it's a Stoner from Repton District was like, well, what you consider a Hall of Famer an all-time great? I said yes, but there's classifications of this, though.
Right?
I mean, there's tons of quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, but that doesn't mean he's in the top crest of them. You know?
All-time all-time best is like I said, it's a very small club, very small club.
Very.
So I wouldn't take Ryan Clark's, especially since somebody found an article from him when the Redskins got beat by the Seahawks, and Ryan himself said, well, we just got beat by one of the all-time greats. What do you want us to do? I mean, he used the exact words. So I wouldn't put too much stock in that, especially because I think a lot of times, especially on ESPN in particular, as opposed to say NFL Network, being the contrarian makes you people think it makes you sound smarter. Look at me, I know more than you because I'm contrary to everything you're saying. So, I don't care if Russell Wilson is an all-time great. I'll take Mr. Almost all-time great here any day of the week, and especially on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, if we miss out on these these veterans, I mean,
we would be stupid as fuck if we did not try
We
to
go,
bring
we're going
yeah.
to try.
Russell Wilson
Yes.
as our starting quarterback. Here.
That's
And let me
number
tell you,
one. That's
people are
mission
not
number
paying
one.
attention that we're probably willing to give up damn near anything, because at the end of the day, we need a quarterback that's going to launch this brand.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. And that's
Yes.
I think that is that's something that's in our favor, that they can be that face of this organization going
That's
forward.
true.
And Russell Wilson would be a perfect choice for that.
Go in with
because
another losing season under this name, and more
with a
and more
schmuck
people,
quarterback.
right? More and more people are just going to fall off.
What
man.
will
And
help
yes,
though, if we cannot land a Russell Wilson, say Russell Wilson just stays in Seattle, what will help is
we should go
to
get
one of
Jameis
these.
Winston. We should go get Winston.
I like Winston.
I don't know about that.
I like Winston.
I'm talking about you
that's
got
funny to me now.
You got to provide hope, okay? And hope means one of these quarterbacks coming out of the draft.
Hey.
You have to draft. But the
Jameis
problem
I'm
is,
good at
Winston's
that.
the only one giving us hope, because I just
Look.
can't see it from the others.
You know,
but
it depends
it
on what you do with
provides
it. If you bring in a
future hope.
Trubisky, but then you make a draft pick, then you've got hope.
That's
he's
what I'm
just a
saying.
bridge.
That's
Well,
what
you
I'm
still
saying.
bring in a. You still
Jameis
bring
Winston will not give me hope. I'm sorry.
You
He-
still
he's-
bring in a quarterback. even
He's
with
not
Winston here.
making my nipples hard whatsoever.
Well, none of these
Well-
quarterbacks are. So let's
Okay.
not even
but
talk about this person or that person.
No,
At the end of the
no,
day, Jesse Trubisky and all these other lower tier quarterbacks
it's not going
suck
to happen.
ass.
It's not going to
They all
happen.
suck
Yeah,
ass. None of them are
but-
bringing hope.
you have to make it seem like you're like, okay, say Malik Willis, he's the one that everybody's talking about right now. He had a great Senior Bowl. That will
I thought
provide
Sam Howell had a
fans-
pretty good game.
that will provide fans, okay, listen, that the future might work out. You never know. But the problem is these quarterbacks coming out this year, and this is going around, top scouts are saying none of them would have been picked before Mac Jones. So
See,
you have a
last
conundrum
year-
right here.
Last year, they're basically saying, because I went and read up on some old Mac Jones prognostications last year, and all of them were like, well, he's got the possible ability, but he's going to have to sit for a little while. And I'm thinking, no,
Right.
that dude started week 1 and went to the fucking playoffs. The
Yeah,
fact
but
of the matter is,
look,
when it comes to
where
these
he landed.
quarterbacks,
He landed in the perfect spot. So
and that's the whole thing.
Let's not.
So that's the whole
placate
thing.
that.
These prognosticators for quarterback, I'm just done listening to them, because these guys, none of these guys are worth. Oh, really? But Mitch Trubisky and Marcus Mariota, you hyped them up into the first fucking round, into the top 5. So,
RG3.
Listen,
well,
we can't trust. We
High
can't
tech.
even
Who am I
trust
I
pro
don't believe 'em.
scouts on pro teams.
because
they make
quarterback
mistakes
is
all the
such
time. It's a
especially on
finicky
that
spot.
position. It's the hardest transition
is.
of any position.
You
in
pick the
sports to
best
go from
guy that is
NCAA.
best for the scheme that you've created. Simple as that.
But
I
the
think
fact
we're in
of
a
the
better
matter
position
is,
for that.
the fact of the matter is, the Commanders has to do something at the quarterback position. They
Which is
have to
why
do
they're
something.
going to throw the bag at Russell Wilson,
You
which
have
is
to.
why Seattle's
throw
going
the
to take
bag.
it, and which
Doubt
is
it.
why
I don't think
Russell
they will.
I hope
Wilson.
you're right.
Bro, they are dumb as fuck if they don't take 2 firsts and 2 thirds. Come on. And there could be more into that. They're dumb
You
as
know-
fuck. They have to look for their future, and Russell Wilson is not it. We're over here grasping straws to launch a new brand, and none of these quarterbacks are going to do that except for Russell Wilson. Not even talking about Watson. He's out of the picture. He's too busy fondling. So
I think a high picked rookie would do that, because you always have optimism
they
around a
won't.
high picked rookie.
yeah, no, they won't.
That's
Not if
what
they're
I
not
mean.
winning
And
games.
fans, and I'm telling this to everybody: do not
you
get
go
your
get
hopes
that
up.
rookie because he's your actual future.
Do not get your hopes
Right.
up for
Well,
Russell.
yeah, you don't
Wilson,
do it
'cause
just for-
chances
just
are
to
he's
do it.
not going to be playing in the Burgundy and Gold next year.
But
Chances
you
are
go
he's gonna
get
stay in
Russell
Seattle.
Wilson, right? And that marriage works out. And the first season, Russell Wilson does well. You don't have to draft a quarterback in this draft. You don't even
Not
have to
for
do it in
another
the
3
next
years,
one or the
4
next
years.
one. Correct. At least
Right.
the next 3 years.
Yeah, at least the next
Definitely
three.
get him to where he can at least sit a year to 2 years and learn from a guy like Russell Wilson. Then we are set up and we are in good shape.
Uh,
But we are not in good shape if we get a rookie quarterback and we expect him to be the guy, and we expect him to launch this new brand, and we expect to have a different season than what we had last season. It ain't happening. You have a better shot.
So you're basically saying if we don't get Russell Wilson, this whole rebrand's just shot, done.
Who's going to be
like-
your quarterback?
It
not
doesn't.
good.
That's not the question. That's not. Listen.
If we don't get Russell Wilson, we're going to have a losing record.
Russell Wilson or bust. That's what you're saying.
100%. We're not going to have a winning record with Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Mariota. No, nothing. We're going backwards. In the case. Listen, he's improved over Taylor Heineke.
All three of those are better than Heineke. Yeah.
You can't put all your bags into one pony, man.
Yeah, you can.
You're just going to. You're setting yourself.
How the hell do you do that?
You're
that
setting
is a
yourself
weird video.
up to fucking be let down because
you're gonna. Be let down, dude. This is the route that we've been going all of our life, and I know people are like, well, let's change it now. But listen, they're not going to put Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis as a starting quarterback to try to launch this brand. It's not happening. It's not.
They can't force a trade.
And if we throw these guys under fire, who Kenny Pickett is the only one in the draft that they say is pro ready, we're putting these guys' careers in jeopardy and ended up being shit. This is not a Joe Burrow situation.
But that's not my point, Keith. My point is you're trying to force a trade for Russell Wilson. They can't force a trade for Russell Wilson. They can't do it.
We're not forcing anything. We give you 2 firsts and 2 thirds, and it helps you with your future.
That doesn't mean they're going to take it, or that doesn't mean Denver's not.
I know that. I know that. But my opinion is you're stupid as fuck if you don't.
Well, you got to try, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Fuck yeah!
I also think that if you make a first round pick of a quarterback, as long as it's one of the top guys and they love him and they don't just do it because we need somebody to launch the brand with, then you do have optimism. All right, you're going to create some optimism because there's always optimism with youth.
There's got to be a plan B. That's right. Got to be a plan B.
If you make a move up. Malik Willis apparently apparently raised his stat,
and you draft yourself a quarterback. That's your plan B for this
year.
That's it. But that I think would give enough. I think that would give optimism. But
I'm not optimistic with Winston.
Fans got to be realistic about the situation, though.
Let me bring up Winston here for a second, because last year I said I would like to take a look at Winston at this time of year, and I got roundly laughed at. Let me talk about his for a second here. I got roundly laughed at, and now I see his name popping up all over the place.
And I'll laugh again.
Jameis Winston couldn't fucking see when he was in Tampa. So all you clowns that tell me, he threw interceptions.
We talked about this.
He couldn't see, okay? And he had the 8th best season in NFL history. You tell me he can't play? He can play. I think he can, and I think he's going
to make plays because he has the talent. He's got the
serious skill. He's got a cannon on his shoulder.
He's going to make plays. He did well in New Orleans before he got hurt. Like, I'm not hating on him, but he's not taking this team to the next level. It's another Band-Aid situation to groom.
He might be able to, because we have some talent for these quarterbacks to work with.
He didn't do it in Tampa. He didn't do it in New Orleans. He ain't doing it here, John.
Sean Payton was debating on starting.
And he got hurt in New Orleans.
Sean Payton, if that was the case, Sean Payton wouldn't have left, bro. If Jameis was the answer.
Dude, wait. Yeah, you're way ahead of the court. The Sean Payton left because his future there is looking bad. All right. They're like, they got no cap. Well, they got no cap space whatsoever to build anything around anything right now. That thing is completely blown out of the water. So he said, okay, getting's good. I'm gone. Boop. But you give Winston weapons, that boy can play. He can play. And
he's had weapons in Tampa Bay.
But he couldn't see. All right. Even while he couldn't see, he threw 30 fucking touchdowns.
He threw 30 interceptions too.
But because he couldn't see, you got to realize he's nearsighted.
Now that he can see.
Listen.
So he can only see once in a while.
Let me finish my fucking thought here. Let me finish my fucking thought. 50% of the time
he can see.
No. I don't know what kind of glasses you wear there, but if you're nearsighted, you can't. What that means is anything that's down the field is just blurry color to him. So he's throwing to a spot. All right, that's how he's hitting his passes.
Gotten fixed before he hit the NFL.
I agree. I don't know why Tampa didn't do it, but they didn't do it. And I don't know that he realized it. And when you're early in your 20s, unless you felt you had vision
after he threw 40 interceptions,
they cut him after that. See, y'all are going to sit here and laugh, but I'm telling you.
Look,
I think he's better out of the options that are available.
You put Mariota, Winston, Trubisky in a hat and fucking pick one. I think they're all the same.
No matter what's going to happen,
and I think
regardless
it's just
of
a Band-Aid
talent,
situation,
it's gonna, as soon as they're not going to bring Winston in, because as soon as they bring him in, everybody's going to go, "Oh, he threw interceptions," because they don't fucking think beyond the first thing that they see.
To be
They don't.
honest,
And I don't give
I'll
a fuck
probably
what
get
anybody
laughed
wants
at.
to tell me about interceptions. The man couldn't see downfield and had the 8th best season in NFL fucking
I've never
history.
seen a guy stand for Jameis Winston the way John
I
does.
do.
No,
I will, because
Brandon,
8th best season in
Brandon,
NFL
oh,
history.
yeah. I know
loves him
he
some
is
Winston
too.
too.
Best.
He
Of-
is
of
too.
that
I'll say
season.
this. I'll say this.
Brandon's
that
an idiot,
season,
though.
If we have to go the draft route, I would rather have Trubisky than
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend, because if I'm bringing Winston in, I want him to be my starter.
I think
Trubisky's
Winston
a
gives us
Band-Aid.
the better shot over
Yeah.
them.
But
Listen,
he's going to be here for a
he
while. I think he's
put
the
some good
future.
tape out there. He did. But I mean, look, I just
Also,
I-
you go Winston, you have a chance to get, you go Winston, Trubisky, and you're still keeping your first. You still have
that's
the ability
Right.
to draft Dean at 11 if he's still available. I mean, there's options here,
Dean.
and it's not the worst case scenario.
You got the linebacker?
Yeah, from Georgia.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you.
Right.
Yeah, but I
But
mean, you're probably going to
the
want
new draft
get,
experts are saying Kenny Pickett's fallen to 11, so that's interesting.
Fuck all these draft experts with their quarterbacks. I don't know how many times I got to tell you.
Draft
Every time-
experts
we're
suck,
sitting,
when it comes
the
to
I
guys
don't
that
like
we're
quarterback-
sitting here laughing about, Jameis Winston was a first overall pick, and they told us how great he was.
I know.
Right? These
I
are the
agree.
same
I
guys
don't
that are
listen
telling
to
us
these
this
guys.
shit
They're-
now. They don't know what
And
the fuck
Mariota
when it comes to
was
a
number
quarterback
2.
They
is.
didn't talk
It's-
about
it's
Tom
like,
Brady, and he ended up being the best in
Sixth-round pick.
life. So-
right, 6th round pick. I mean, every once in a while, there's a Peyton Manning where you know what he's going to be able to be.
Right.
But
No.
That's
so
a Joe Burrow. That's why he went first.
right, and but the quarterback position is such a
Hard.
crapshoot, and it's because it's
So
got
hard.
so much to do with the situation. It's got a lot to do with the person himself and whether he can grasp what's going on, because it is the biggest jump in all of sports.
If we
Look
wind
at
up
that.
drafting a
That a delicious
quarterback,
tangerine mango mist there, I think.
Oh, it's
if we wind up drafting a quarterback, I want Ron and Scott Turner in the room, and them picking
And Dan
the
Snyder
best,
in
best-
Montana tied to a rock.
the best one of these 4 that fits the system. That gives them the best chance.
That's a good idea. Why don't we take Dan Snyder out and tie him to a rock somewhere? Pour honey on him and put him by a fire ant hill. Let's do it the way the old Redskins used to do it.
I
I
think
think-
maybe a grizzly bear park.
I think we're
Time
coming
to be
to
that.
go legendary in this draft for Russell Wilson. And the only reason why I
hope
say
so.
this, and the
I hope
only
so.
reason why I say this is because, again, they've got to launch this brand, and this has to be successful.
They're going to go after him. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And if people on Twitter are saying, "No, don't get y'all are fucking stupid,
Russell
Y'all are
Wilson
People are
is
going to say that no
marketable,
matter
dude.
what.
dumb."
Russell
They're gonna say
Wilson
that no
is
matter
so marketable.
Yeah, for
You
not
know.
wanting, for those who are saying that they don't want Russell Wilson, y'all are fucking stupid. Just stop watching football right now.
You're going to multiply jersey sales with Russell Wilson
You're going to multiply
times
wins
more
in
than
the win
Kenny
column.
Pickett.
Dude, they multiplied jersey sales with Donovan McNabb. The
Yeah,
difference
that's
is
true.
Russell Wilson is not going to fucking fail when he gets here like
Well,
McNabb
because
did.
back then McNabb was at least successful. We thought we got
Yeah.
something. He was
Oh, yeah.
successful. He
Did
was
you
to
buy a
the
McNabb
decline of
jersey?
his
Did you-
career.
You bought a McNabb jersey, didn't you?
No, I
Me?
didn't.
No,
Oh, you
No.
didn't. Okay.
I never did.
I never did. But I did say it was an exponential upgrade at quarterback. Look at-
Actually,
you know.
my quarterback jersey went from Brad Johnson to RG3. That's
I
it.
think the last one I had was Patrick Ramsey. The
My
last one I
dumbass
had.
bought a fucking Haskins jersey, but I burned it.
You, of course you did.
Hey, I can't blame you. You know,
After
there's
those
all-
last 2 games, that he
There
played,
was
touchdown
hope
passes.
there. There was hope. I
Yeah.
will say that.
I liked what
touchdown
I
passes
saw,
in college in
and
one
I'm
season.
really picky about the jerseys I buy. Like that Josh Norman one, I fucking put duct tape over the fucking nameplate.
And
I
you stayed
I had a
married to
chance
that
there.
jersey. You wore that to the games too. And you're
But
like,
I put duct tape over it. I'm very picky on my jersey. But I
Please.
bought that. I bought that as soon as they were available when we first signed them.
I have
No.
one request for all Commanders fans out there, which was former
donate
Redskins fans.
$25 and get a
No.
can of cat food dumped on your head.
No,
Or
sure.
$50.
For charity, absolutely. But I have one request. Please, for the love of God, stop wearing jerseys of players who have not played here in years, who were never any good, who were terrible human beings. I don't understand why I go to a game and every time I go, I see Albert Hainsworth. Are you like, come on, my man? Like, do something. Like,
at least put duct tape over the fucking
look.
nameplate.
And these are the guys who are like, well, I'm not buying another jersey and putting money in Snyder's pocket. No, dude, just
for those people out there that seem
don't
to
even
think
wear a
that if you
jersey,
don't
then.
buy
At
a ball
least,
cap,
at least
buy
my
a
Norman
t-shirt or
jersey,
something.
at least my Norman jersey, from the front, it looks like an Antonio Gibson jersey.
And I'll say this:
in the back, it looks
and you
like
guys
an
know how
Antonio
much I
Gibson
love
jersey
this
too.
guy. Stop wearing RG3 jerseys. Stop it.
Stop with the
just-
Kirk Cousins.
it's
Stop with
done.
RG3s.
Kirk Cousins. It's all over with. Please, just
See,
guys, like this fan base. I feel like
for a lot of
every
people though,
time-
RG3 gave him the only thrill they had as a fan.
and
I don't
that's
blame him for that one.
and that's a good reason to continue to wear his jersey. And I will once in a while. I wore one to the game because it was the only salute to service jersey I had. Like, I'm not saying the guy, we all know how I feel about. I'm just saying, just come on, man, don't do it anymore. Like these guys that were terrible. I saw an Adam Archuleta jersey.
Different.
I saw. I like. Just give me more names. I can tell you. I'll tell you.
Trunk candidate.
Seen it. Like seen it, and it's like this fan base just refuses to just
let go.
Just let go.
Well, it's because
Get rid of
we
those
drink
jerseys.
the Kool-Aid that Snyder has poured us every year in those years when he was like, "Here's a new free agent, everybody."
Yeah.
Dude, on free agency eve, they used to have a tracker on Extreme Skins, the message board, to follow Dan's jet to see where it was going. Because
So
we were going to come back with, dude, but we were, we came back with Albert Hainsworth. You know how we knew we came back with Albert Hainsworth? Because that jet could barely get off the ground. That fat motherfucker was on there. So, and that's the thing about Dan is he always could sell hope by buying some ridiculously expensive free agent. And then you have to listen to fucking guys like Tom Lavero who say, I hate Thanksgiving because nobody brings their own turkey and I like my own turkey.
Okay.
Well,
We ought to have Tom Lavero on the show one day.
I'd love to have Tom Lavero. Oh, please, we could bring Tom Lavero on the show. As a matter of fact, I think he was just here just a second ago. Hey, everybody. I hate this team, but I've been getting paid to talk about them for a long time. Let me tell you about my favorite Negro League baseball player, though. Nobody's heard of him, but I liked him. Anyway, you guys just going to stare at me or what?
Yeah, we're going to stare.
No place to go with it. Just fucking talk. Great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're going to all have different ideas. I'm once again, I'm not saying you guys aren't, but I'm a logical thinker, and I'm not like, I think Russ is the best option out of them all.
Obviously,
And
I think everybody thinks that.
Yeah.
And we would have to give a boatload for the guy, and that does suck. But also at the same time, you got to pay to play, and I just keep thinking logically in the sense of
course,
order to
but
sell
you gotta
this,
have a plan B.
You've
Gotta
got to
have
have
a
somebody.
You
at
got to
your
have a
quarterback.
plan B and a plan C, because if Russell Wilson if they're taking calls, we ain't the only ones on the phone.
That's 100% true.
There's going to be several people that are calling on the phone for that guy.
Sure, but
probably
there's going to be
many
several people
more
that
than
ain't
several.
willing to give 2 firsts and 2 thirds. I can tell you.
I
that.
don't know. There might be. There
don't
might be.
think so.
The guys like him don't come available very often.
Well, then Seattle will come back to us and say, "Well, this team offered us this."
Sure.
And there's gonna and they'll say,
do that.
"Fine, we'll give you 2 fourths too while we're at it." I mean,
Hey,
I
there's Tom
really-
Lavero again.
Yeah, I really see us giving up more than we probably should for this deal to get done. So that way Russell Wilson can come in, can sell jerseys, can sell t-shirts, and can sell this new name Commanders.
Did you hear what Tom Lavero said?
No.
I'd give up a lot for Russell Wilson, but I ain't giving up one of my goddamn French fries. Get the hell away from my plate.
I think we should end this shit show.
Yeah.
Next week or sometime soon, we're going to have to start talking about the season in review we've been promising for 5 weeks.
I don't know.
But
yeah.
look, I think that this is good. And we got a lot of positive feedback from last week's show, even though it wasn't a lot of, there was no fun in last week's show. We all just laid it out.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that what we saw, because we got a lot of good feedback from that, people like the fact that our show organically goes. We don't have a set list of what we're going to talk about. We just let it go. We might say to each other before the mics come on, all right, I'd like to bring this up, bring up the parking party. Let's talk about that. But other than that, this show just flows wherever we let it go. And I think that is one of the, like the fucking farm fresh eggs that we're going to dump on Keith's head on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. I believe that we're going to use free range cat food. So that's always good.
All right.
What?
So yeah, look for us. Look this week.
Some fancy free range.
Yes. We should get the cheapest cat, like dollar store cat food.
That's what I'm gonna get. I'm not like getting like fucking steak fillets, cat food.
We should get like some German import cat food that just says KAT.
Some like gravy train or something. Like, that's
the sauerkraut and the cat food is what's really gonna bother me.
Oh, good.
I haven't donated
to find
yet.
out when things are going on.
I haven't donated yet, but I think I might go for another can of sauerkraut.
Okay. All right. So everybody that's out there, time is ticking away. If you want to have something else dumped on Keith, please pony up. It's for a good cause. It's for the kids. And I know that I wasn't supposed to say this on the show, but Keith did text me earlier and said, I'm not against the idea of the hot dog up the ass. So if anybody wants to put $1,000, there you go. And we could.
You guys are idiots.
I'm an idiot. You're an
Why
idiot.
am I the most mature person on this show? Why?
Because I don't know. Why would you want to be?
Because I'm not any other time. But
let me show you something. I'm older than both of you, right? But all the wrinkles on my face come from smiling. They come from smiling and laughing.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I got the crows under the eyes and I got the bags, but that's because I don't sleep.
I wouldn't sleep either.
I moisturize.
Dump a cat food on me.
Do you moisturize?
Hell no.
I bet he does. No,
yeah, you do. I seen your bag of stuff in a bathroom.
No, that's for my beard,
John. No, John.
For my beard.
Stuff. I said I've never seen
the man brought his own loofah.
This dude had his own suitcase of bathroom items. Like, I'm like, what is this guy doing?
That's my. I take care of my beard, man. Take care of my beard.
That's right. That man brought his own loofah, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and
he's got his travel
his face with it.
After you wash your ass with it, or was it the other way around?
No,
I'm so stupid. How did I not? Like, I just
a communal loofah. You thought there was a communal loofah,
and that's even worse because why would I use? Even if I had to use Jesse's, I could at least argue the fact of, well, at least I know him. But I legit thought that was
a hotel loofah.
Yeah. Like, what was I thinking?
That's even worse. That's even worse.
I am so stupid. Like, I legit had that mindset. And then I'm telling you, when I was in the bathroom and after I got out of the shower and, I was doing my thing and I just stopped for a second. I was like this. I'm like,
why does my face smell like ass?
This is not this ain't a hotel. Like, they don't put.
He's out there doing his thing.
And then
I got out of the shower and calling out to Jesse. Jesse, which one of these do I put on its foundation?
It was wild, man. And then I had to come out and tell Jesse that I used it because I'm like, well, what if this guy has like some kind of like phobia? I don't want him to freak out and because I'm like, well, fuck, I washed my body too. And now this dude's got to use the same loofah the next day. I almost
I would have never told him. I would have videotaped. I'd have videotaped myself rubbing it up and down my balls, and then I would have said,
I shouldn't. I know, dude. I could have played this so different.
He goes. Yeah, I just wiped my balls all over it in my face and everything. I was like, well, I just wiped my ass
John.
all over it.
John. No. That's exactly what happened, John. I came to him and I'm like, yo, bro, I apologize, man.
You got to say bro in that situation.
I did. I was like, bro, I apologize, but bro, I will rub my balls all over your loofah, right? And I thought I was a badass for saying it too.
I gotta tell you,
got you, right? But then he goes, that's okay. I rubbed my ass with it. And I'm like, oh shit, he took a shower first. He took a shower first.
Why would you want to exfoliate your balls? That's my
I don't know. This whole conversation is embarrassing.
I know it's not. It's a lot of fun.
The fact that I thought that this was a community, like other guests have used this And dude, I don't know. Man. I don't know, but
What you should have done, because there's a hole in the middle of it. You should have stuck it
Listen.
on your dick and walked out of the bathroom. He'd have thought that Tamara
I've had
Hemingway
this
was in
hoodie
his
for
hotel
three-
room.
I've had this hoodie for 3 years and I ain't washed it once, so who cares? Let's go.
Yeah, right. It's right up there with the feet. You don't need to wash it, right? You wore it in the rain one day. You're
Bro,
good.
even one time when I sniffed the armpits, I'm like, this is a little questionable, but I ain't gonna wash it.
Questionable.
Just put it outside for like 2 hours and let the wind.
Just spray some Febreze. We're good.
Oh,
Anyways, let's end this
Alright.
shit. We gotta go.
all right.
Oh, we didn't never
Command
say
out.
it. We didn't never say it, so we have to say it so we can play our music. We are the People's Podcast.
That's right. The People's Podcast.
Big
We
command.
have to remember the People's Podcast. Have you all been able to hear the music in the background when I?
I did. I laughed. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the People's Podcast. So yeah, all right. So now, what did you say last time? Commander's out.
Yeah. Commando out.
Commander out.